let me ask you this. We just did an expose on Joe Biden. He announced that he was running today. And we did an expose which comes from a couple of really good investigative reporters. One of them is Peter Schweitzer, and the other one is John Solomon.
From the Hill.
And, they have this thing really locked down. What he and his son and John Kerry's son, they started a fund to be able to, an investment firm, and they started it right after Dad was sworn into office. They don't have any experience, and they went over to the Ukraine. They were doing a deal while Dad was doing a deal with Ukraine. Joe Biden is very proud that he got an investigator fired over there because of corruption, but what people don't talk about is the fact that that investigator was investigating Joe Biden's son on the board of this very corrupt gas company in the Ukraine. He also went over and did a $1.5 billion deal with the Bank of China. His son did, while Joe was meeting with the top-ranking officials. He got in. He was. They invested in the main kind of their Lockheed Martin of China, which was trying to, in fact, did steal some of our stealth technology. They also invested in a company that was a nuclear company that was nailed by the FBI while Joe Biden's son was part of the board. Nailed by the FBI for stealing our nuclear secrets. It's such cronyism. Nobody is paying attention to this. And I wondered, and Mike, maybe you can help me out on this. Is that because nobody wants to bring this up because everybody's doing this?
I can't imagine that everyone's doing that. That's a pretty big deal. There are people who don't do $1.5 billion in deals in a whole year.
Yeah, in a whole year.
Whole lifetime in an eternity. I can't imagine that is terribly common, and I can't imagine that that's not going to become an issue with the presidential campaign.
It doesn't seem to be going anywhere, and it's the same kind of thing that, Clinton was doing these shady deals over what was it with Gazprom, and it really never went anywhere. And it was all circumstantial evidence. It's all documented, and I'm sure it's all legal. But he is using the muscle of the United States of America when he was vice president. Peter Schweitzer said he was the most corrupt vice president in all of American history.
Do you suppose that a Republican vice president doing such things would get away with that?
No.
And not have it reported on extensively?
And John Kerry's son. I mean, when he was Secretary of State and Joe Biden was the vice president and they had all this power, the government of China was giving their sons $1.5 billion to invest.
That's very impressive and very stunning in its significance for our system of government.
So I guess what I'm asking is, in some ways, if we don't turn around, we're probably 1989 Russia, where people in your position, people in Washington, might begin to see the handwriting on the wall and say, we're not going to turn this ship. I'm already positioning myself for what comes after. And what comes after this is probably a really nasty oligarchy where you've got these people who are just pulling all the strings. Is corruption so bad in Washington that nobody cares about this, or do they not know?
Look, I don't think that Washington is the kind of place where no one cares about this. I suspect it has more to do with them not knowing. I also gather that someone running for president, if he has done this, is going to have that exposed, and that's going to become a problem for him.
Are you concerned, Mike, about the Democrats that are running? Is there anybody? I know you get along with Bernie Sanders.
Oh, sure.
But you don't agree with any of his policies. Do you see anybody on the other side? You don't even have to name a name, but do you see anybody on the other side that you think isn't really dangerous to the constitutional republic?
Well, let me put it this way. I see every single Democratic presidential candidate seems to be moving to the left, and they're all moving in lockstep. It's like a one-way leftward turning ratchet. Each time any one of them moves further to the left, they all try to outdo each other.
And it doesn't go the other way.
No, it doesn't go the other way. And the problem is this is not just a sort of red team versus blue team, team A versus team B sort of a thing. This is a different political ideology. It's a different concept of what government is, what it's for, and what dangers it poses to the American people.